Chapter 4064. The Demon Emperor Realm Demon fought with all his might. The bright red bone spurs on his body flew out from his body and shot towards Lu Ming. This time, the distance was too close. Coupled with the fact that the bone spurs were extremely fast, even if Lu Ming wanted to dodge, he wouldn't be able to. In fact, Lu Ming had no intention of dodging at all. Puff puff puff, a few bone spurs hit Lu Ming and pierced through Lu Ming's body. Some pierced through his chest, some pierced through Lu Ming's dantian, and some pierced through his shoulders. A total of 5 bone spurs pierced through Lu Ming's body, creating 5 holes. Lu Ming's body was pushed back by the bone spurs, nailing him to a huge rock. "Ha! Go to hell! Go to hell!" The Demon Emperor Realm Demon roared crazily, but in the next moment, his eyes popped out, revealing a look of disbelief. This was because Lu Ming was completely fine, and his aura had not weakened at all. Boom! Lu Ming's body burst out with a powerful force, sending the 5 bone spurs flying. The wounds on Lu Ming's body quickly healed. At this time, Ling Yue seized the opportunity to shoot an arrow with all her might while the Demon Emperor Realm Demon was in a daze. An arrow pierced through the Demon Emperor Realm Demon's throat, causing his injuries to worsen. "A bunch of little monsters, let's go." The Demon Emperor Realm Demon really panicked and turned around to leave. Unfortunately, his surroundings were filled with strong winds. He was even weaker now, and for a moment he was actually unable to break through the strong winds and escape. As for Lu Ming, he held the ice Shen rod in his hand and charged forward again. He struck out with all his might, causing the Demon Emperor Realm Demon to stagger back. "Dandan, are you almost done?" Lu Ming sent a sound transmission to Dandan. This Demon Emperor Realm Demon was really hard to kill. He had continuously used his full strength to activate the ice Shen rod, which consumed a lot of energy. It was difficult for him to maintain his strength. He believed that Ling Yue was about the same. If this were to continue, the demon might really escape. "Alright, use your full strength to kill this demon." Fortunately, Dandan gave him some good news. Dandan rapidly formed hand seals, and countless runes appeared on the ground and in the air. These runes intertwined to form a huge formation. The formation shone brightly, and Buddhist chants could be heard. In the next moment, 8 gigantic figures appeared in all directions. These 8 figures emitted a golden Buddhist light, as though they were the Vajras of the Buddhist sections. Dandan had actually set up a Buddhist grand array. The 8 Vajras attacked with all their might, launching a fierce attack at the Demon Emperor Realm Demon. At the same time, Lu Ming and Ling Yue also attacked with all their might. Lu Ming held the Zephyr Pearl in one hand and used all of his strength to draw out the energy within the Zephyr Pearl, turning it into a wind blade that slashed towards his opponent. His other hand held the mysterious ice staff, and in an instant he poured all of his taboo energy into the mysterious ice staff. The mysterious ice staff grew rapidly, and he swung it at his opponent. Ling Yue also shot an arrow with all her might. The attacks of the 3 people drowned out the Demon Emperor Realm Abyssal together. The pupils of the Demon Emperor Realm Abyssal contracted sharply because he felt a fatal crisis in this move. He let out a roar, unwilling to be killed by a few little fellows like this, and fought back with all his might. Boom, boom, boom. A series of explosions rang out, and then a tall figure flew out like a meteorite, smashing into the mountains at the bottom of the lake. The lake water surged, and smoke and dust filled the air. The figure that flew out was naturally that abyssal demon. Lu Ming and the other 2 flashed their figures and followed closely behind. When they flew over 10,000 miles, they found that the Demon Emperor Realm Abyssal Demon was already lying on the ground, his entire body in tatters. His aura was extremely weak, and he was already on the verge of death. They widened their eyes with all their might, staring at Lu Ming and the other 2, their eyes revealing deep unwillingness. It seemed that he did not expect that a demon emperor of his generation would eventually die in the hands of 3 divine Emperor Realm Juniors. If this were to spread out, he would be laughed at after his death. "Let's go," Lu Ming said coldly and stepped down. A demon sword appeared under his feet, and he used the Great Demon Sword technique. Puchi. The demon sword completely killed the Demon Emperor Realm Abyssal Demon. The three of them heaved a sigh of relief at the same time. The three of them were indeed incomparably strong, and with the help of their great weapons, they could kill ninth-layer divine emperors like cutting melons and vegetables. However, compared to divine emperors, there was still a big gap. Even in the entire primitive universe, an emperor god would be considered a top expert. Many powerful forces in the universe, or some of the more powerful races, did not have any divine emperors. Only the powerful races on the list of 10,000 races of primitive universe had divine emperors. That level was much stronger than divine emperors. Fortunately, the demon emperor realm abyssal demon had been severely injured by the experts of the Buddhist clan, and his strength was greatly weakened. Otherwise, even if the three of them joined forces, they would definitely not be a match for the demon emperor. If they encountered the demon emperor, there would only be a road to death, and they would not be able to escape. Then, the three of them took the demon emperor realm abyssal demon's spirit blood and quickly left. After finding a place, the three of them adjusted their breathing, and when they recovered to their peak state, the three of them went in the direction of Nantian City. Not long after, they successfully returned to Nantian City. After returning to Nantian City, Lu Ming went to report to a divine general what had happened at Constellation Demon Island. Naturally, he would not say that his team members were killed by the spirits of Nether Race. One should know that although the spirits of Nether Race had killed his team members, he had also killed 3 experts of the spirits of Nether Race, and one of them was a peerless genius of the spirits of Nether Race. Although they had taken action in self-defense, and the Heavenly Palace would not blame them, if the spirits of Nether Race knew that they had killed a peerless genius of the spirits of Nether Race, they would most likely not let them go. In the future, they would have to constantly face the assassins of the spirits of Nether Race, and that would be even more troublesome. Lu Ming naturally would not say that. He only said that their formation had been destroyed by the abyssal demon experts, and that the others had died in battle, leaving only the 3 of them. The divine general did not have the slightest suspicion. After all, such things were very common in a battle with the abyssal demons. The divine general comforted Lu Ming and said, "Captain Mu Yun, do you need me to replenish your troops?" His team had been scattered, and he could continue to replenish his troops, reform a battle formation, and guard a side of the city wall. However, there was another choice, and that was to choose not to be the captain, and to act alone and hunt the abyssal demons alone. This was usually the choice given to the survivors after a team had been destroyed. However, most people would still choose to form a team. After all, if they formed a team, they could form a battle formation, and their power was amazing. When fighting with the abyssal demons, their chances would be much higher, and they could also hunt enough abyssal demon spirit blood. Acting alone was not only more dangerous, but the efficiency of hunting the abyssal demons would also be much lower. Of course, there were also some people who would choose to act alone. Those people were generally very confident in their own strength. Lu Ming chose to act alone. Chapter 4065. Lu Ming naturally chose to act alone. He had been betrayed once, and he didn't want to be betrayed a second time. If they formed another team, it would be hard to guarantee that they wouldn't be betrayed again. He planned to act alone with Dandan and Ling Yu Wei to hunt demons in the future. Even if the efficiency was a bit lower, it would still be safe and at ease, right? After telling him this idea, the divine general happily agreed. After returning to his residence, he met up with Dandan and Ling Yu Wei. Then they moved away from here and stayed on another section of the city wall. After that, the 3 of them took out the demon spirit blood they had hunted this time and counted them together. The harvest this time was huge. Most of the demon spirit blood came from demons above the 7th layer of the God Emperor realm. They would definitely be exchanged for a lot of merit points. However, they didn't go to the Well of Merit, so they didn't know how many merit points they could exchange for. Right now, they were still unable to return to Dreamsky City to exchange for merit points. They needed to stay in Nantian City and guard it for 100 years. After the 3 of them counted the demon spirit blood, they divided it equally. For the next half a month, they cultivated in Nantian City. It was very peaceful and no one came to find trouble with them. Thinking about it, that group of angels were all dead, and no one knew that they were the ones who did it. Although there were many angels in the heavenly soldiers, far more than those 15 people. But relatively speaking, the ones who were most hostile to them were those in that group, such as Lafitte and the others. Once these people died, they should have a period of peace. Half a month later, the three of them set off again. They left Nantian City and headed to another level 3 area to hunt demons. In the following time, Lu Ming and the others acted in groups of 3, secretly hunting demons. The three of them worked together, with Lu Ming and Ling Yuwei as the main attacker, and Dandan in the formation. In fact, the efficiency wasn't too bad. Although the speed at which they hunted demons couldn't compare to those teams, it wasn't too far off. The key was that the demon spirit blood they hunted was only divided among the three of them. Not only was the demon spirit blood in their hands not less, but it was even more. Time passed quickly. In the blink of an eye, more than 90 years had passed. There were only a few years left until the 100-year period. As long as 100 years passed, they would be able to return to Dreamsky City and convert the evil demon spirit blood they had accumulated into merit points, which they could then exchange for various treasures or enter the fortune tower to increase their strength. What was worth mentioning was that in the past 90 years, their strength had all increased. Lu Ming had a special body. After so many battles, he had broken through to the 4th Godly Emperor layer. Dandan used to have the strength of the 2nd Godly Emperor layer, but after 90 years, he had broken through to the 3rd Godly Emperor layer. Ling Yuwei's cultivation had also broken through to the 5th Godly Emperor layer. Ever since she had obtained the fortune of the sacred seed mother tree, her physique had undergone a transformation. Her cultivation speed was astonishing, and she was actually not slower than Lu Ming. What was worth mentioning was that Qiu Qiu had also broken through to the 7th Godly Emperor layer. He had broken through to the 5th Godly Emperor layer consecutively. During this time, he had devoured a large number of godly weapons. In particular, Lu Ming had obtained some broken godly weapons from the Merit Exchange Hall, which had been of great help to Qiu Qiu. Overall, the strength of the three of them had skyrocketed, and they could hunt abyss devils more easily. On this day, they were hunting demon spirits in a level 3 area when they suddenly received news from Nantian City. Everyone was retreating back to Nantian City. Lu Ming and the others were puzzled. They didn't know why everyone was retreating, but under such circumstances, something big must have happened. They didn't dare stay and hastily returned to Nantian City. When they returned to Nantian City, they saw a large number of celestial soldiers returning from all directions. They were all celestial soldiers who had hunted demon spirits from different areas. After so many years of hunting, the low-level areas around Nantian City, such as the level 2, level 3, and even level 4 areas, had been cleared. Further in was the terrifying level 5 area. The level 5 area was occupied by terrifying demon empires. These demon empires had terrifying demon spirits overseeing them. They were comparable to the Lord of Heaven of the Heavenly Palace. Celestial soldiers and celestial generals generally didn't dare to enter the level 5 area. Nantian City opened a formation. Countless celestial soldiers and celestial generals flew into the formation and landed on the city wall. Lu Ming and the others followed the crowd into Nantian City and landed on a section of the city wall. What happened? Why did everyone suddenly retreat? Yeah, we'll be able to conquer that level 3 area very soon. The demon emperors in that level 3 area have all been killed. Unfortunately, they retreated at the last moment. There was a lot of discussion in the surroundings. Many people were puzzled. Silence! At that moment, a dignified voice rang out and spread through the entire city wall. The scene immediately quieted down. Suddenly, many figures appeared in the sky. These figures had extremely strong auras as deep as the sea. They were extremely terrifying. Celestial emperors. They were all in the Celestial Emperor realm. There were celestial generals in armor and celestial officials in white robes. There were no less than 100 of them, and they were all high-level celestial emperors. Everyone's heart sank, and many people revealed solemn expressions. It was definitely unusual for hundreds of celestial generals and celestial officials to be mobilized at once. According to reliable news, a huge demon army has appeared in the depths of the dark universe and is heading toward Nantian City. It should be the demons of the level 5 area. A burly celestial general said. This celestial general looked very valiant and handsome. His long golden hair draped over his shoulders, and his aura was very terrifying. Obviously, this celestial general's identity was extraordinary. Even among the hundreds of celestial generals, he was one of the best. Celestial tribe. Lu Ming's eyes narrowed slightly as a thought flashed through his mind. That's right, he was definitely not mistaken. This celestial general was from the celestial tribe. Back then, when he first met the myriad gods, he was chased by some terrifying existences. Those existences were evolved from the celestial tribe's powerhouses after their deaths. They were not the real celestial tribe. The real core of the heavenly palace was the celestial tribe. It could be said that the celestial tribe had founded the heavenly palace. The celestial tribe was not one of the top 10 tribes because they were high and mighty and looked down on all the other tribes. No other tribe could be compared to them. However, it was said that the celestial tribe was very few in number, but each one of them was very powerful. Any one of them would be a top prodigy in the primitive universe. Lu Ming had been in the heavenly palace for so many years, but this was the first time he had seen the real celestial tribe. Demon army? The demons of the level 5 area. Is there a demon wave? Many people exclaimed. Every time the demon army of the level 5 area attacked Nantian City, it was very terrifying. It was called a demon wave. Chapter 4066. Every time a demonic wave broke out, a world-shaking battle was destined to break out, and the fighting was incomparably tragic. Yes, it's a demonic wave, and this time, it's no small matter. It's very likely that more than one 5th level district has been mobilized. So, immediately set up defenses and check all the arrays to ensure that nothing goes wrong. The heavenly human tribe's divine general said loudly. Many people were shocked. There was more than one 5th level district demon taking action. The situation was worse than they had imagined. Then, everyone began to take action. Those who were assigned to guard the section of the city wall immediately returned to guard their own section of the city wall. Lu Ming and the other two, because they were acting alone, were randomly assigned to a section of the city wall to hunt as many demons as possible. The heavenly soldiers were very fast. In a short while, they had set up the defenses, and then one by one, they stared into the distance, waiting for the demons to appear. Time passed by second. Buzz. Suddenly, the earth and the sky in front seemed to tremble. Then, there was a terrifying aura coming from afar. The aura suddenly became extremely oppressive, as if there was a terrifying giant beast in the distance, coming this way. Everyone's heart was in their mouths. Boom, boom, boom. Then, there was a violent roar, and the sky in front of them became pitch black. That was the demonic aura. The demonic aura rushed toward Nantian City like a tide. In the demonic aura, there were countless demons. Countless demons covered the sky and the sun, holding all kinds of weapons, roaring like thunder, and killing intent like a tidal wave. There were too many, so many that it was impossible to count. As far as the eye could see, it was a boundless demon army, and no one knew how many there were. And some of the demons' auras were extremely terrifying. These were all demons in the Demon Emperor realm. At a casual glance, one could see hundreds of demons in the Demon Emperor realm. Why are there so many demons? How many 5th level district demons have been mobilized? Many people's faces changed drastically. So many demons in the Demon Emperor realm had appeared. It was definitely not one or two 5th level district demon dynasties that could mobilize. It was definitely multiple demon dynasties that had mobilized together. Get ready! In the sky, the heavenly human tribe's divine general shouted. Set up the array, get ready to attack. On the city wall, many first-class heavenly soldiers shouted. In the heavenly palace, there were more than 100 emperor gods. More than 100 god emperors appeared in the sky. They were all god generals and heavenly officials. Those who could reach the level of divine general or heavenly official were all experts among experts. Even among the god emperors, they were considered experts. Most of those first-rate heavenly soldiers were also divine lords. They were just a few weaker divine lords, but their numbers were not small. Rumble. Heaven and earth rumbled, and the sun and moon lost their light. The Fiend Legion was getting closer and closer to Nantion City. Kill all the creatures in the primitive universe. Destroy the heavenly palace. Exterminate the heavenly human tribe. Kill all these losers and fugitives. Roars came from the devil army as countless devils roared and charged towards Nantion City. He was getting closer. The distance between the two sides was getting closer and closer. Soon, the distance between the two sides was only a few thousand miles. At this time, the demons launched an attack. Whoosh whoosh whoosh, countless attacks, densely packed, covered the sky and blasted toward Nantion City. Formation, rise. In Nantion City, the divine general of the heavenly human tribe gave the order. The city walls of Nantion City glowed, and a light shield appeared. The attacks of these devils were all on the light shield. The light shield kept shaking, but it was blocked by the light shield. Killing formation, rise. The divine general of the heavenly human tribe gave the order again. On each section of the city walls, runes filled the air, and multicolored light continued to shine. Another formation appeared. This time, it was a killing formation. The killing formation condensed all kinds of divine light and shot toward the devil army like arrows. However, the devil army also set up a formation. Layers of demonic aura condensed into a light shield, blocking these attacks. The first wave of attacks from both sides did not cause any damage. The distance between the two sides was getting closer. Boom. In the end, the devil army crashed heavily into the light shield outside Nantion City. At this moment, the entire city felt like it was shaking. Focus on one point and tear this formation apart. Attack! On the devil army's side, the attacks of all the devils gathered in groups. Many of the devils' attacks were focused on one point, trying to tear the formation apart and kill their way into Nantion City. Among them, many Demon Emperor Realm devils also attacked with terrifying power. The light shield of the formation trembled even more violently. If this continued, it was inevitable that it would be torn apart. Kill the devils. The heavenly soldiers on the city walls also roared and launched an attack. Most of the heavenly soldiers formed a battle formation, condensing dazzling golden sword light, slashing outside and slashing at the devils. Lu Ming and the others did not attack. Now that both sides were attacking with formations, the power was too strong. With their cultivation, even if they attacked, it would not have much effect. Boom, boom, boom. Terrifying rumbles continued to sound as if the world was about to be destroyed. There were too many experts fighting fiercely. If it happened in the primitive universe or in the starry sky, it would cause a devastating disaster. A large area of the starry sky would be annihilated under such an attack. However, the dark universe was very special. Everything was much more stable than the primitive universe. The damage caused would not be as great as the primitive universe. However, the ground was constantly exploding, and the void turned into chaos. The scene was terrifying. Finally, after fighting for a while, the formation in the eastern area of Nantion City was torn open by the devils. Charge in! The Abyss demons let out excited roars, and countless Abyss demons madly rushed in through the opening and killed their way onto the city walls. Kill! The heavenly soldiers on the city wall roared and attacked with the battle formation. Golden sword light flashed and slashed out horizontally. Suddenly, a large number of devils were killed. However, there were too many devils, and they kept rushing in. The devils could not compare with the heavenly palace in terms of rune formations. After charging in like this, the devils' formations were not so exquisite. Most of them were fighting for themselves. Unless they had set up a large formation in their own territory, the devils could rely on the formation to exert great power. On the heavenly soldiers' side, relying on the heavenly armor, they could activate the power of the battle formation at any time. However, there were too many devils, and they were not afraid of death. They kept rushing in, and there were even Demon Emperor Realm devils mixed in. Die! A Demon Emperor Realm demon rushed into the crack and slashed out with his saber, blowing up a large formation. More than half of the heavenly soldiers inside were blown up alive. Tragic, both sides began to suffer casualties. "You're courting death." A first-class heavenly soldier, his body glowing, waved his sword and attacked the demon emperor realm devil. The two sides engaged in a fierce battle. Chapter 4067. Both sides fought fiercely and casualties began to appear. Moreover, with the fierce attacks of the demons, many parts of the Nantion city's array formation were torn apart. Countless demons rushed in through these cracks and engaged in a great battle with the heavenly soldiers and generals. Buzz. The array formation on Lu Ming's side also fluctuated violently. Under the attacks of countless demons, the array formation trembled incessantly. Finally, a crack appeared. "Kill!" A large group of demons roared and rushed in through the crack, pouncing towards the heavenly soldiers and generals. The heavenly soldiers on the city wall immediately launched a counterattack, setting up a formation to kill the enemy. Both sides fought fiercely. There were also demons that charged towards Lu Ming and the others. Dandan took a step forward and dense runes appeared on the ground. A large array was formed and turned into chains that wrapped around a dozen demons. Then, Lu Ming took out the Zephyr Pearl. A strong wind whistled and swept past, killing more than a dozen demons on the spot. In such a great battle, Lu Ming did not plan to take out the mysterious ice rod. It was too exhausting and would not be used for long. It was far less practical than the Zephyr Pearl. Although Ling Yue took out the Elf King bow that was stained with blood, she did not use all of her strength to control it. She only activated the power of the 9th layer of the Divine Emperor realm. This way she could use many moves. The three of them worked together seamlessly and quickly killed dozens of demons. The results of the battle were quite good and attracted the attention of the other demons. "The geniuses of the desolate universe are mine." A blood-red demon with burning eyes pounced towards Lu Ming and the other two. This was a flame demon. This kind of demon was a special kind of demon. It was very powerful. Before it even pounced, a scorching aura had already pounced towards Lu Ming and the other two. The Zephyr Pearl turned into a wind blade and slashed towards the demon. With a boom, it collided with the demon, causing an earth-shattering explosion. However, Lu Ming did not kill the demon. The wind blade formed by the strong wind was blocked. What strength! Lu Ming's eyes flickered. That fire demon had the strength of the 9th godly emperor layer, but he was extremely strong. He was much stronger than ordinary cultivators of the 9th godly emperor layer. Lu Ming's cultivation had already reached the 4th godly emperor realm. His cultivation level had increased, which meant that he could draw out more energy from the Gale Pearl. However, the demon had managed to block it. That showed how powerful it was. "Brat, it's useless to rely on external objects." The flaming demon roared. Its body was shrouded in flames, and its claws were constantly clawing out. Its body was like lightning as it pounced towards Lu Ming. Whoosh! Ling Yue made her move, and an arrow shot towards the demon. Although Ling Yue did not use her full strength to activate the Elf King bow that was covered in blood, she had still activated a portion of its power. It was not weaker than the Gale Wind Blade from before. The flaming demon did not dare to underestimate it. It reached out with its claws and blocked the arrow as well. After blocking it, its pair of demon wings continuously slashed towards Lu Ming. It was blocked by Lu Ming's Zephyr Pearl. However, the demon looked ferocious and took the opportunity to get close to Lu Ming. Its demon claws grabbed towards Lu Ming's head. However, an arrow shot towards it. This arrow was even more terrifying. Ling Yue attacked with all her strength. The flaming demon's expression changed. At the critical moment, it used its demon wings to slash at Ling Yue's arrow. With a boom, a hole appeared in its demon wings. It was injured and retreated. Ling Yue attacked with all her strength, and her attack power was still above that of the demon. While the demon was injured, Lu Ming took the opportunity to attack. A strong wind swept out and turned into a wind blade, slashing horizontally. With a pu sound, a demon's head flew high into the air. This demon genius was dead. The moment he killed the demon, Lu Ming grabbed the demon's demon spirit blood with his palm. The performance of Lu Ming and the other two immediately attracted the attention of the demon emperors on the demon side. "You're courting death." A demon emperor realm powerhouse stretched out his hand and grabbed at the air. 3 claw lights shot out and grabbed towards Lu Ming and the other two. This was a demon emperor realm demon at its peak. Its strength was unfathomable, and its attack was incomparably terrifying. Lu Ming and the other two felt their hearts beat faster and their hair stand on end. Unstoppable. Facing a demon emperor at its peak, even if they attacked with all their might, they wouldn't be able to resist. Especially Ling Yuwei and Dandan. They only had 3rd-tier heavenly soldier armor, so they couldn't withstand the demon emperor's attack. However, they were already prepared. On the ground, dense runes suddenly crawled out and covered the bodies of the 3 people. Then, the bodies of the 3 people became blurry. When the demon emperor realm abyssal attacked, the 3 of them directly disappeared from their original place and appeared dozens of miles away. The demon emperor realm abyssal's attack naturally missed. Formation. The demon emperor realm demon's eyes flickered with a cold light. Yes, formation. Before the demon army arrived, Dandan had already secretly set up a formation. Of course, they were all formations used to escape. In such a great battle, setting up a killing array was useless. How many demons could you kill? Among the demons there were many experts. If you killed the strong, there would be even stronger ones. For example, after they killed the flame demon Heaven's Pride, a demon emperor realm demon would immediately come. Therefore, setting up an escape formation to save one's life was the way to go. Let's see how many moves you can dodge. Kill. That demon emperor realm demon seemed to have his eyes on Lu Ming and the other two. With a wave of his demon claws, more and more claw prints formed, covering the sky and covering the earth as they charged towards Lu Ming and the other two. Wherever it passed, the battle formation set up by one of the teams was directly destroyed. "Blink 1,000 shadows array, rise!" Dandan shouted, controlling the array with all his might. Dandan, Lu Ming, and Ling Yuwei's bodies exploded with a bang. Each of them turned into hundreds of figures, scurrying everywhere. Bang bungas the claw shadows fell, the shadows collapsed. When all the claw shadows disappeared, the true bodies of Lu Ming and the other two were revealed. However, their faces were pale. Although they had dodged the other party's attack just now, it was dangerous and not easy. Wanting to escape with his life in front of a devil emperor at his peak was not easy. We dodged it again. The killing intent in the eyes of that demon emperor realm demon was extremely strong. After escaping from his hands twice in a row, his anger burned fiercely. "I will tear you all apart and bring you back to become my exquisite food." The demon emperor realm demon roared. With a flap of his wings, he personally pounced towards Lu Ming and the others. At this moment, thoosh! A spear pierced through the void and pierced towards the demon emperor realm demon. Its power was extremely terrifying. Chapter 4068. The spear pierced through the air, destroying the void. The demon emperor's pupils constricted. He could not care less about killing Lu Ming and the other two. He quickly waved his demon claws to block the attack. Clang! An earth-shattering roar resounded. The spear was blocked, but the demon emperor realm demon was also blasted back again and again. A burly man in golden armor stepped on the air. His aura was like a mountain, and his eyes were like lightning. He was a first-class celestial soldier, and also a divine emperor. A dignified demon emperor, what's the point of attacking a few little guys? I'll be your opponent. A cold voice came from the first-class celestial soldier. His figure was like a flash of lightning, instantly approaching the demon emperor. The spear pierced through the void, stabbing at the demon emperor. "Don't think that I'm afraid of you. I'll kill you too." The demon emperor realm demon roared and fought with the first-rate heavenly soldier. Lu Ming and the other two heaved a sigh of relief. Although their current battle strength was very strong, and after activating their weapons, killing ordinary 9th-layer divine emperors was as easy as chopping vegetables. However, facing a demon emperor, they were still under a lot of pressure. It was a huge leap from divine emperor to divine emperor. In the divine emperor realm, the star nucleus in the Dantian turned into a star. However, no matter how strong a star was, there was a limit. Its energy would be exhausted. In the Divine Emperor realm, the star in the body evolved into a black hole. A black hole led to an eternal unknown place. One could borrow endless energy from the other side of the black hole. In theory, the energy of the Divine Emperor realm was almost endless. Even if the battle lasted for thousands of years, it would not be exhausted. Of course, this was only in theory. Therefore, stepping into the Divine Emperor realm was like stepping into the ranks of the top experts in the primitive universe. As for the Divine Emperor realm, it was only considered ordinary in the primitive universe. However, the three of them quickly calmed down and attacked the other demons. They were confident that with their talent, it was only a matter of time before they stepped into the Divine Emperor realm. It was not impossible for them to step into a higher realm. This battle lasted for a full 2 hours. During this period, Lu Ming and the rest were also attacked by other Demon Emperor realm demons. They were all pushed back by them in a dangerous situation. At the same time, there were many divine emperors in the heavenly palace who would fight against the demon emperors. This battle was exceptionally tragic, and the smell of blood filled the air. Both sides had lost a large number of people. However, the heavenly palace's side had the terrain advantage. With the protection of the formation, the number of casualties was much lower than the demon's side. The demon's losses were at least 3 times that of the heavenly palaces. Dong dong dong. After 2 hours of fighting, the deafening sound of war drums could be heard from the distant land. Retreat! A loud roar came from the abyss devils. Then the demons quickly retreated, and the retreating demons took the corpses of the demons with them. The black mass of evil demons quickly retreated and disappeared from sight in the blink of an eye. On the city walls of Nantian City, everyone breathed a sigh of relief. In the face of such a great battle, no one had the confidence to survive. The main reason was that there were too many evil demons, and there were too many experts. Even though the heavenly palace's side had set up a battle formation, the losses were great, and the battle formations were destroyed one by one. What a pity! There are so many evil demon corpses. How much evil demon spirit blood are there? Someone sighed. In the battle just now, countless evil demons had fallen, and no one knew how much evil demon spirit blood there was. However, in the process of the battle just now, who would have the mind to collect evil demon spirit blood? Who would dare to be distracted? In such a great battle, being distracted meant death. Later, when the evil demons retreated, they took away most of the evil demon corpses, which made people feel helpless. Dandan, how's the harvest? In an inconspicuous section of the city wall, there were 3 people who were talking about their harvest. These 3 people were naturally Lu Ming and the other 2. In the previous battle, Dandan almost did not do anything except use the formation to help them escape. This was because he was collecting evil demon spirit blood. With his attainments in rune formations, it could be said that he was like a ghost, constantly collecting evil demon spirit blood in the dark. Not only did he collect the evil demons killed by Lu Ming and Ling Yue, but he also collected the evil demons killed by the others nearby. A great harvest, a great harvest. It's even greater than our previous 90 years combined. Dandan laughed out loud. Of course, it was a sound transmission. He didn't dare to be brazen, afraid that others would hear him and beat him to death. So much. Lu Ming and Ling Yue's eyes lit up. It was even greater than the previous 3 people's gains in the past 90 years. As expected, only in such a tragic battle could one make a fortune. Although the battle just now was dangerous, it was worth it. I even obtained a drop of the Demon Emperor realm's evil demon spirit blood. Dandan had a complacent look on his face. Attention, all divine generals and first-rate heavenly soldiers, gather your subordinates and set up a new formation. The crippled teams, regroup and form a complete team. In the sky, the heavenly human race's divine general gave the order. Immediately, divine generals and first-rate heavenly soldiers moved out, gathering the people from the various sections of the city wall and redistributing them. This was because some of the teams had been crippled and couldn't set up a formation. They had to replenish their manpower. This time, Lu Ming and the other two didn't even believe that they could act alone and were forcefully transferred into a team. Although it was a temporary team that hadn't been trained and couldn't unleash the full power of the battle formation, it was still better than acting alone. Lu Ming and the other two could only sigh. They still wanted to secretly collect the evil demon spirit blood in the following battles. Now, it seemed that this plan wouldn't work. In the battle formation, Dandan couldn't appear and disappear unpredictably to collect the evil demon spirit blood. Although it was a pity, there was nothing they could do. The Heavenly Palace was very efficient. Not long after, the team was reorganized. I've received news that the evil demon army hasn't retreated. Instead, they've set up camp hundreds of millions of miles away. It seems that they will continue to attack. Everyone, stay alert and prepare for battle. We've just formed a new team. Step up the training and familiarize yourself with the battle formation. In the sky, the heavenly human race's divine general's voice resounded in all directions. Many people's expressions were ugly. The evil demons hadn't retreated yet. It seemed that the previous retreat was only a temporary one. They would come back again. The tragic battle wasn't over yet. Lu Ming and the others, who had just formed a new battle formation, began to practice and familiarize themselves with the battle formation. They didn't have to wait too long. After only one day, the evil demon army came again. The two sides engaged in a fierce battle again. This battle lasted for a full 2 hours before the evil demons retreated. However, these evil demons didn't retreat to their nest. Instead, they set up camp hundreds of millions of miles away from Nantian City. This made many people's expressions ugly. At the same time, they were very puzzled. In the past, the evil demons would gather together and attack Nantian City. However, if they couldn't take it, they would retreat and return to their nest. This time, however, they couldn't take it and didn't retreat. Chapter 4069. In the next few days, the evil demon army attacked Nantian City 5 times. After 5 times, the evil demon army still did not retreat. They were stationed hundreds of millions of miles away, but they did not attack again. Since the evil demons did not attack, the Heavenly Palace naturally did not take the initiative to attack. The stalemate lasted for more than 10 days. During these 10 days, the evil demon army did not attack again. This made many people's hearts heavy. They did not know what the evil demons were planning. Boom! Rumble! On the 11th day, a terrifying roar suddenly came from the direction of the evil demon army's garrison. It was as if the world was about to be destroyed. Then, a terrifying and incomparably oppressive aura surged over like a vast wave. Everyone's expression changed drastically, including the God Emperors. Their eyes were filled with fear as if they were ants facing an ancient giant beast. "Look, what is that?" Suddenly, someone exclaimed and pointed at the distant sky. In fact, everyone saw it without him shouting. In the distant sky, the void was like water ripples, constantly shaking. Occasionally, a spatial crack would appear. Through the spatial crack, they saw a figure inside. This figure was incomparably huge. He was wearing battle armor, and his golden hair was fluttering. A terrifying aura surged out like a tide. His body was even bigger than a star. "Lord of Heaven, it's the Lord of Heaven." In the sky, the divine general of the heavenly human tribe shouted excitedly. Everyone's hearts were also greatly shaken. The Lord of Heaven was not a realm. It was a title in the Heavenly Palace, and it was also a position. However, anyone who held the position of Lord of Heaven must be someone above the God Emperor realm. Above the God Emperor realm was the Divine Master. The Lord of Heaven must be someone in the Divine Master realm, and he must be from the heavenly human tribe. Even if other tribes worked in the Heavenly Palace and reached the Divine Master realm, they could not hold the position of Lord of Heaven. No one had expected that the Lord of Heaven of the Heavenly Palace would make a move. In the next moment, a terrifying roar was heard from the spatial crack. Everyone saw a huge demon appear. Its body was huge, and it charged towards the Lord of Heaven. The two sides exchanged a blow, and the void turned into chaos. The figures of the Lord of Heaven and the demon also disappeared. A demon Lord realm abyssal. Many people gasped in shock. That abyssal that flashed by just now was definitely a Demon Master realm abyssal. Demon Masters were on the same level as Divine Masters. A great battle actually broke out between the Lord of Heaven and the Demon Master. Boom, boom. Explosions kept coming from the sky. The terrifying pressure made it hard for everyone to breathe. Fortunately, the void was far enough away from here. Moreover, the battle between the Lord of Heaven and the Demon Lord took place within the void crack and did not affect Nantion City. Otherwise, the consequences would be unpredictable. No one thought that Nantion City's array could withstand the attacks of Divine Masters or Demon Masters. Suddenly, a violent fluctuation appeared in the void, and a spatial crack appeared. This time, the hearts of the crowd shuddered once again. Because through the spatial crack, everyone saw another incomparably huge figure. However, this figure was not the Lord of Heaven or the abyssal that they saw just now. It was an angel. A 12-winged angel with 6 pairs of wings spread out. Holy light illuminated the sky, and its aura was terrifying. Needless to say, this was also a Divine Lord-level figure, and this Divine Lord-level angel was also fighting with a Demon Lord-level abyssal. There was actually more than one Divine Master expert that had been dispatched. What was going on? Divine Masters rarely made a move, but now 2 of them had suddenly appeared. But soon, everyone knew that they were wrong. More than 2 Divine Masters had been mobilized. This was because the void would flicker from time to time. Through the spatial crack, they saw no less than 5 Divine Masters. Yes, there were at least 5 Divine Masters. Among them, 2 were the Lord of Heaven, and the other 3 were peerless powerhouses of other races. On the abyssal side, no less than 5 Demon Masters had also appeared. There was actually a chaotic battle between Divine Masters in the void. What was going on? Not only were the ordinary heavenly soldiers confused, but even the divine generals and heavenly officials were confused. What was it that caused so many masterclass existences to go to war? However, they could not interfere in such a battle. Even if a peak god emperor went up, they would be instantly obliterated by the terrifying force. Not even a speck of dust would be left. Everyone waited in confusion for half an hour. Suddenly, the void calmed down as if nothing had happened. Clearly, the terrifying battle had ended. Everyone looked at each other, wondering what the outcome of the battle was. Everyone, stay where you are and stay alert. The heavenly human divine general roared. In a dark void. It was incomparably dark, and violent spatial turbulence was rampant. In this incomparably dark space, there were more than a dozen enormous figures facing each other. There were 6 people on each side. On one side were abyssals. 6 enormous abyssals, all of them Demon Masters. On the other side, there were 6 peerless masters from the heavenly palace. Among them, 3 were the Lord of Heaven, and the other 3 were from the top 10 races. Both of them were injured. It was clear that the battle earlier had been very intense. An invincible expert of the heavenly palace is buried in the great tomb of heaven and earth. Don't even think about touching it, you demons. A Lord of Heaven spoke. He looked very young and handsome. His long golden hair danced like golden flames. Ha, what a joke. There's also a peerless expert of my race in the great tomb of heaven and earth. In my opinion, the heavenly palace has no right to interfere. A cyan demon revealed a ferocious smile. The Lord of Heaven of the heavenly palace snorted coldly. The other party wasn't wrong, and they couldn't refute him. However, the great tomb of heaven and earth was too important to them. They had to seize it. However, they were also determined to get the devil. They didn't have the confidence to win. How about this? How about we make a bet? Another Lord of Heaven spoke at this time. This Lord of Heaven was also very handsome, but more feminine. His eyes seemed to contain infinite wisdom. Bet? How do you want to bet? A demon master asked. Even if we continue to fight, it'll be difficult to determine a victor. How about we have the younger generation fight on our behalf? Both of us will send out some young geniuses to fight. The winner will have the right to occupy the great tomb of heaven and earth, and the loser will give up the tomb. How about that? The more feminine Lord of Heaven said. Oh, that sounds interesting, But what are the conditions for the younger generation's geniuses? For example, they're limited to the divine emperor realm, or how old they can be. A demon master asked. Chapter 4070. Of course it's limited to divine emperors. Divine emperors aren't too high or too low, and they have the most numbers. It'll be more intense when they fight. What do you think? The more feminine Lord of Heaven said. No, I don't think it's appropriate. I think we should limit the age. How about this? Let's have those under 50,000 years old fight. The demon lord said. Under 50,000 years old? The feminine Lord of Heaven's expression darkened. He shook his head. I think it's better to have divine emperor juniors fight. He knew that there were several young 9th-level divine emperors in South Sky City who were extremely powerful. If they were allowed to fight, their chances of victory would be higher. However, the demons clearly disagreed. This was because, among the Abyss Devils participating in this expedition, they knew of a young prodigy with terrifying combat strength. Therefore, they insisted on setting the age to be under 50,000 years old. The two sides couldn't come to an agreement. How about this? We'll draw lots, and whichever side we draw will decide. What do you think? The more feminine Lord of Heaven said in the end. He had no other choice but to take this compromise. That's more like it. The 6 demon lords nodded. There was naturally no cheating involved in the drawing of lots for people like them. Everything was arranged appropriately. When the drawing of lots ended, the 6 divine lords of the heavenly palace didn't look too good. They'd failed in the drawing. The demons would decide on the conditions. Then we'll do it our way. 3 days later, the youngsters under 50,000 years old will fight. Both sides will set up an environment and let them fight inside. Whichever side is completely wiped out or surrenders will lose and withdraw from the contest for the great tomb of heaven and earth. A demon lord laughed loudly. At this point, the heavenly palace's divine master had no choice but to agree. They all swore on their life essence that the loser would never participate in the contest for the great tomb of heaven and earth. Even if they were divine lords or demon lords, they would still be restricted by their life essence and wouldn't dare violate their oath. Unless they were old antiques who transcended the master-level, invincible existences. After the two sides finished discussing the details, their figures flashed and disappeared into the dark void. Nantion City. News quickly spread from Nantion City, shocking everyone. Everyone now knew why the master-level existences would engage in such an intense battle. It was because of the great tomb of heaven and earth. It was rumored that endless years ago, so long ago that the exact number of years was unknown. At that time, there was an invincible existence in the heavenly palace who fought against an existence of the same level as the Abyss Devils. In the end, both sides fell. When both sides were about to die, they were sealed in different places. That place was the great tomb of heaven and earth. The inheritances and treasures left behind by such existences were truly too shocking. Even if it was a master-level figure, they would be unable to resist the temptation and would be extremely moved, wanting to investigate to the end. The master-level characters of both sides fought a great battle, but the victor was still undecided. In the end, everything was decided on the younger generation. Both sides sent out the younger generation below 50,000 years old to fight. They entered a special place and began a life-and-death battle. When one side was completely annihilated, or when 80% of the people on one side admitted defeat, that side would be considered to have lost. The other side would win. Hearing this news, the faces of all those under 50,000 years old changed. Needless to say, this battle would be exceptionally cruel. Only when one side was completely annihilated would it be considered a loss. In other words, this was a battle to the death. One side had to be completely annihilated. It was possible to admit defeat, but only if more than 80% of the remaining people on one side agreed. One person or several people were not allowed to admit defeat. If the heavenly palace was defeated, all those who participated in the battle would be in great danger. How could this not cause everyone's expressions to change drastically? Soon, everyone received the news and gathered at an empty section of the city wall. Soon, the heavenly soldiers gathered at an empty section of the city wall. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. A few figures suddenly appeared in the sky. These figures were divine generals and heavenly officials. Leading them was the divine general of the celestial race. The divine general of the celestial race swept his gaze over everyone like lightning. A moment later, a door of light flew out and towered between the heavens and the earth, becoming incomparably large. This is the door of light used to test one's age. Everyone passed through this door, starting from the left. The divine general of the celestial race said. Some people's expressions were somewhat ugly. They knew that this was a test of age. Anyone under 50,000 years old would probably have to fight. However, no one dared to disobey the order. Swish, swish, swish. Starting from the left, a large number of heavenly soldiers flew into the door of light. The door of light was extremely large and could accommodate at least a few thousand people. Most of the heavenly soldiers flew through the door of light, but a portion of them were blocked by a mysterious force. The divine general of the celestial race swept his gaze over those who were blocked and smiled. Very good. Those of you who did not pass through the door of light and are under 50,000 years old, stay. Those of you who passed through the door of light, go back and return to the area where you were originally stationed. Yes. Those who passed through the door of light were all over 50,000 years old and left one after another. Those who were under 50,000 years old stayed behind. Heavenly soldiers constantly flew forward, and people were constantly blocked by the door of light. Of course, those who were blocked were in the minority. Soon, it was Lu Ming's turn. Lu Ming, Dandan, and Ling Yue flew towards the door of light. When Lu Ming approached the door of light, he was blocked by a force. This force was vast, mighty, and incomparably condensed. Lu Ming could not rush through it all, and he knew that it was impossible for him to do so. This was most likely the power of a divine master. He discovered that Ling Yue had also been blocked, but to his surprise, Dandan had passed through the door of light. Lu Ming thought about it and understood. That was because Dandan was over 50,000 years old. Back in the primordial realm, Dandan was born from an egg. He was not truly born, but only reborn from nirvana. He was seriously injured and turned into an egg. The most important thing was to heal his injuries. Although his body had been reborn, his soul was one of the 10 strongest war beasts in the primordial realm. He had lived for a long time and was definitely over 50,000 years old. Lu Ming, you guys have to be careful. I won't be able to accompany you. Dandan transmitted his voice to Lu Ming, his eyes filled with worry. Don't worry, don't you understand me? How could anything happen to me? It's those demons who are in trouble. Lu Ming replied with a smile. Those who pass through the door of light, return to your respective city walls. Those who don't, stay. The voice of the celestial race's divine general sounded again. Dandan could only follow the crowd and leave. Chapter 4071. Not long after, everyone was checked. In the end, about 3,000 people stayed. There were at least 1 million heavenly soldiers, but only 3,000 were left. That was not a high ratio. Most importantly, there were too few people who could reach the divine emperor realm and become heavenly soldiers under the age of 50,000. Those who could achieve that at that age were undoubtedly geniuses among geniuses. 3,000 of them stayed. I believe you already know the general situation, but I still need to tell you the details. This battle was decided by the Lord Heaven and the Demon Lord. Both sides will send their prodigies under the age of 50,000 to enter a special place to fight. The conditions for victory are to kill all the opponents or make more than 80% of the opponents admit defeat. However, it's almost impossible to make more than 80% of the opponents admit defeat because everyone is scattered. It's very difficult to make more than 80% of the opponents admit defeat at the same time. Therefore, the only way to win is to kill all the opponents. The divine general of the heavenly human race said. Many people's expressions became even more unsightly. They could only win by killing all the opponents. It was the same for the demons. They could only win by killing all the opponents. Needless to say, it would be an extremely tragic battle. They would fight to the death. Divine General, I've been feeling a little unwell recently. Can I withdraw? Me too. I'm at the critical moment of my breakthrough. I'm afraid I can't perform perfectly. Many people spoke and wanted to withdraw. You want to withdraw? Sure, go talk to the Lord Heaven. The divine general of the heavenly human race said coldly. A cold light flashed in his eyes. Those who spoke had ugly expressions. What a joke! Go to the Lord Heaven. This was an order from the Lord Heaven. Going to the Lord Heaven was courting death. Moreover, with their status, would they be able to see the Lord Heaven? Alright, I'll emphasize again. This is an order from the Lord Heaven. It must be carried out. The divine general of the heavenly human race said. What's there to be afraid of? Let's do it. This is exactly what I want. I'm looking forward to it. Ha! A coarse voice sounded. Many people glared at this person. Lu Ming also looked at this person, revealing a faint smile. The person who spoke was none other than the battle god of the Battle Saint tribe, Yuanwen. Battle god Yuanwen ignored the gazes around him. His eyes were full of fighting spirit. Beside him, the geniuses of the Battle Saint tribe all revealed an intense battle intent. The Battle Saint tribe was the most warlike tribe. Battle blood flowed in their bones. Sometimes, they would even place battle before their lives. This kind of dangerous battle was what they wanted the most. They were all looking forward to it. These battle maniacs. Many people despised him in their hearts. Sir Divine General, may I know where the battle will take place? Are there any other rules? Another person asked. Right now, the Lord Heaven and the Lord God are working with the demon lords to arrange the specific scenes. In 2 days, I will tell you the details. You can wait here for now. Those who are injured or not in peak condition, take advantage of the time now to recover. You only have 3 days. The divine general of the celestial tribe said. After speaking, he left this place. The 3,000 people who were going to participate in the battle either had heavy thoughts in their hearts, sat down cross-legged, or chatted in groups of 2 or 3. Very quickly, 2 days passed. In the sky, a light flashed. The divine general of the celestial tribe reappeared. Many people immediately turned their gazes to this divine general. The specific scenes and rules are already out. Take a look. The divine general of the celestial tribe waved his hand and an image appeared in the sky. In the image, there were 12 figures standing in the sky of a certain dark universe. These 12 figures were clearly divided into 2 camps. However, they were all shrouded in a hazy light and their appearances couldn't be seen clearly. However, everyone knew that these 12 figures were the lords of the heavenly palace and the demon lords. Rumble, suddenly, a lord-level figure from the celestial palace and the demons made a move. The 2 of them joined hands and clawed at the ground, causing the ground to shake violently. Countless rocks rose up from the ground and condensed into a sphere in the air. This sphere was like a planet. Then the lords of both sides discussed for a while and set up the sphere. At this point, the image disappeared. The place where you are going to fight is this sphere that you see. This sphere was jointly created by the Lord Heaven and the Demon Lord. It is extremely huge and is no smaller than a planet. Moreover, the lords of both sides have set up restrictions on it. Once you enter, you can't rely on external objects. You can't rely on any external objects. You can only rely on your own strength. The divine general of the celestial tribe said. What? The scene was in an uproar. In particular, some of the top monsters had ugly expressions. In the battlefield, all external objects couldn't be used. These top evildoers were all in possession of great killing weapons. Originally, the great killing weapons were their trump cards, which gave them a lot of confidence. But now, these killing weapons couldn't be used. Their combat strength would plummet. Lu Ming and Ling Yue were the same. Their expressions were somewhat ugly. However, those geniuses who didn't have great killing weapons heaved a sigh of relief in their hearts. The Heavenly Palace had top monsters who could control great killing weapons that far exceeded their own strength. How could the demons not have them? If they encountered such demons, they would be at a disadvantage. Now, although the people of the Heavenly Palace couldn't use it, the demons couldn't use it either. This was good news for them. The specific rules are about the same as before. It's still to kill the other party or make more than 80% of the other party admit defeat. Only then will it be considered a victory. In addition, a few variables have been added. The lords of both sides have added 2 lands of fortune. One for the demons and one for the heavenly palace. At the same time, the demons have set up some restrictions on the heavenly palace's land of fortune, and the heavenly palace has also set up some restrictions on the demon's side. When one side is at a disadvantage, as long as they find the corresponding land of fortune, they might be able to turn the tables. The heavenly human race's divine general explained. Everyone nodded and silently thought in their hearts, digesting this clue. There was no doubt that this was an important clue. In the battleground between the 2 sides, the important figures of both sides had each set up a land of fortune. Obviously, they were all useful to their own side and could turn the tables at the critical moment. As long as they could find this land of fortune that was useful to their own side, their chances of surviving this battle would greatly increase. Chapter 4072. While everyone was thinking about the so-called land of creation, some of their expressions changed. Because they remembered what the divine general had said. The master of the other side had set up a trap in the other side's land of creation. That was a trap set up by a master. Wouldn't they be dead if they went in? The divine general of the heavenly human tribe seemed to have seen through everyone's thoughts. He continued to explain, "Don't worry, the trap set up by the masters of both sides won't be too strong. The masters of both sides have already checked it. Although it's a challenge for you, it's not impossible. Otherwise, this land of creation would be meaningless." Also, the most important clue is how to find the land of creation of both sides. Actually, both sides have maps of their lands of creation. However, the maps have been sealed in a common place by the masters of both sides. After you enter, both sides will fight. When the number of casualties reaches a certain standard, the place where the map is sealed will appear. Everyone silently memorized these clues. This battle will probably be very cruel. Lu Ming sighed in his heart. Especially the place where the map was sealed. It would only appear after a certain number of casualties on both sides. Moreover, when it appeared, there would definitely be a fierce battle between both sides. Because if one side didn't fight for it, the other side might get the map to the land of creation. They might even take away the other side's map. If the other side obtained the land of creation and turned the situation around, the other side would be in danger. This was a battle of life and death. One could only imagine how intense it would be. Also, take these demon-fixing pearls. Each of you will have one. The divine general of the heavenly human tribe waved his hand. Black origin pearls the size of longans flew out to Lu Ming and the others. There was one for each of them. Lu Ming reached out to take it. Among the demons, there are some top demons who can awaken the so-called primogenitor bloodline and take human form. The demonic chi in their bodies is hidden very deeply. With your cultivation, it's difficult to sense it. However, with these demon-fixing pearls, as long as they are within a certain distance of you, the demon-fixing pearls will react. The divine general of the heavenly human tribe said. These words reminded Lu Ming of 8 Snake Mountain Range's demon prince Samoras. Samoras had taken human form, but even he hadn't been able to sense it. In the end, it had been Bone Devil who had sensed it. If there were many such demons among the demons, it would be very dangerous. However, the big shots of the heavenly palace were very thoughtful. Don't worry. Even though we can't use external objects in here, the demon-fixing orb has no other use other than the demon-fixing orb's ability to sense the presence of demons. It can still be used. Alright, I've said everything that needs to be said. Once the battle begins, everything will depend on you. There's still one day left. Come with us. After the celestial general finished speaking, he headed outside. A group of other celestial generals and heavenly officials followed him. Lu Ming and the 3,000 or so people followed. Soon, they left Nantian City. Not long after, they saw a round ball floating in the air. This round ball was the one created by the masters of both sides. At that time, it didn't seem that big in the image. But now that they were closer, they realized that the round ball was really huge. It was completely condensed from rocks and was no smaller than a planet. Below the ground, they could see a huge pit that was incomparably deep. They didn't see the masters of both sides, but Lu Ming knew that the masters of both sides were definitely there. In fact, the masters of both sides were indeed there. They were just above them, watching them. It was just that they were very far away and had restrained their auras. Lu Ming and the others couldn't detect them at all. When they arrived, they found that the demons had also arrived on the other side. A large group of young demons, led by some demon emperor demons, came to the other side of the round ball. There are so many demons. Lu Ming and the others looked at the demons and found that there were nearly 4,000 young demons. There were about 1,000 more than the heavenly palace. This made many people's hearts sink. This time, there was no limit to the number of people participating in the battle. It only required those under 50,000 years old. As long as they met this condition, they could participate. They didn't expect that there would be so many demons who met the conditions. Naturally, there were more people from the heavenly palace who met the conditions. However, some of them were in other places and were very far away. They couldn't make it in just a few days. Moreover, there were also a large number of prodigies from the other 4 heavenly palace. However, there was nothing they could do if they couldn't make it. The people from the heavenly palace are here. Haha, I heard that they are all geniuses from the heavenly palace. I love eating geniuses from the heavenly palace the most. Eating them will definitely increase my strength and speed up my evolution. Haha, I'm looking forward to it. Those demon prodigies looked at the heavenly palace and laughed. Most of the demons revealed a ferocious murderous intent. They weren't afraid at all. Instead, they were full of anticipation. On the heavenly palace's side, some of the young prodigies didn't look good. They really wanted to withdraw. However, at this point, they could only brace themselves. The Lord of Heaven had ordered that if they withdrew, only death would await them. They might even implicate their families behind them. They might as well fight it out and have a chance of survival. Everyone is here. Let's begin. A majestic voice came from high up in the sky. All of you set off. Remember, you must win. If you win this time, the Lord of Heaven will reward you handsomely. The heavenly human tribe's divine general shouted. Sush, sush. At this time, the young demons on the demon side had already rushed toward the ball. The heavenly palace's prodigies also rushed toward the ball. The ball was too big. It was like a planet. Let's call it the temporary planet. Both sides added up to only about 7,000 people. When thrown into a huge planet, it was really like a speck of dust. Lu Ming and Ling Yue mixed in the crowd and also rushed toward the temporary planet. When he got close to the temporary planet, he suddenly felt a powerful force pulling him toward the temporary planet. With a swoosh, Lu Ming rushed into the temporary planet and landed in a place. He realized that Ling Yue, who was originally standing beside him, had completely flown in another direction and disappeared from his sight. Everyone was scattered. As for Qiu Qiu, he was over 50,000 years old. When he first discovered Qiu Qiu on that planet, he was already born, so he didn't come in. Lu Ming let Qiu Qiu follow Dandan first. Bang! Lu Ming landed on a huge rock, crushing the rock and sending gravel flying everywhere. After stabilizing his body, Lu Ming began to look around. Chapter 4073. Lu Ming looked around. In all directions, all he could see were uneven rocks. Some of them were only a few meters tall, while some of them were millions of feet tall. He couldn't see the end of it. There seems to be a strong pressure on this planet, causing the speed of those who are inside to slow down a lot. Lu Ming immediately sensed that something was wrong. He felt that he was under pressure all the time, causing his speed to slow down a lot. Boom! Lu Ming threw a punch. In front of him, a mountain peak that was 100,000 feet tall exploded. Sure enough, this planet was refined by a master-level figure. It's extraordinary, Lu Ming whispered. In the chaotic universe, a single punch from him was enough to destroy a planet. However, here he only destroyed 100,000 feet tall mountain. The destructive power had been weakened countless times. In fact, it wasn't that his destructive power had weakened, but that the rocks here had been refined and were very hard. Thinking about it, it was normal. This time, the participants of the battle were all geniuses above the divine emperor realm. Any one of them could easily destroy a planet. Although this planet was huge, it was still not enough in front of so many experts. It would be destroyed in a few moves, which was not conducive to the battle between the two sides. However, after being refined by the masters of both sides and laid down restrictions, it was different. They could fight to their heart's content and would not destroy this planet. Moreover, their speed was greatly suppressed. They couldn't fly all over the world in an instant. Let's try the Gale Pearl. Lu Ming's heart stirred. He began to try the Gale Pearl and other divine weapons. The result was self-evident. He couldn't control them at all. It was as if he was in a forbidden weapon domain and was isolated. The Gale Pearl, the mysterious ice rod, and some other low-level divine weapons were all restricted. Even the Dream Divine Jade and the Sound Transmission Jade Talisman couldn't be used. Fortunately, I'm prepared. Lu Ming nodded and put away these divine weapons. Then, with a wave of his hand, he carved a special mark on the ground. This was a mark that he and Ling Yue had discussed beforehand. They had to meet up first. If the two of them worked together, it would be relatively safer. Then, Lu Ming flew in the direction where Ling Yue might have fallen. Danger! Lu Ming had only flown a few tens of thousands of li when he sensed danger. His figure came to a stop and backed off rapidly. A saber light slashed in front of him, creating a terrifying crack in the space. Then, a gust of wind blew from the ground as a figure rushed up. This was a demon. Its entire body was black and covered with black scales. There were also bone spurs on its body, making it look extremely ferocious. That demon had the strength of the third godly emperor layer. Lu Ming looked calm. A demon of the third godly emperor layer was nothing in his eyes. Brat, it's your bad luck to have met me. Hee, I will enjoy you well and turn you into my strength, the Abyss Devil said ferociously. Your cultivation seems to be lower than mine. Are you so confident that you can take me down? Lu Ming couldn't help but ask. Haha, a real genius fighting strength isn't determined by cultivation level. Fighting above one's level is a common thing for me. Even if you're a genius, it's still the same. The demon laughed wildly. As soon as he finished speaking, the demon's saber in his hand slashed towards Lu Ming. As soon as he attacked, Lu Ming could roughly estimate the demon's fighting strength. It was about the 6th godly emperor layer. 3rd godly emperor layer, able to fight above 3 levels. In the primitive universe, he was definitely a top genius. No wonder he was so confident. Even if Lu Ming's cultivation level was 1 level higher than his, he wasn't afraid. He had some capital. Unfortunately, he had met Lu Ming. Lu Ming stretched out his hand and grabbed the demon's saber. The demon's saber stopped in the air, unable to slash down. The demon's eyes opened wide. He couldn't believe it. He was talking arrogantly, but he didn't dare underestimate Lu Ming. He had used his full strength in that attack. He hadn't thought that Lu Ming would be able to grab his saber so casually. The demon prodigy hollered. Demonic aura erupted in full force, wanting to split Lu Ming's palm apart. Unfortunately, it didn't move. The demon's saber in Lu Ming's hand seemed to be oppressed by stars. It couldn't move. That's all you've got? Said Lu Ming disdainfully. The demon prodigy roared furiously. The bone spurs on his body left his body and shot toward Lu Ming. They were extremely powerful. However, Lu Ming reached out with his other hand and there seemed to be shadows of hands in the air. The next moment, the shadows of hands disappeared and Lu Ming grabbed all the bone spurs in his hands. How is this possible? The demon's eyes widened. He was completely dumbfounded. Lu Ming's strength was too terrifying. Even if he was a level higher than him, he shouldn't be this strong. In front of Lu Ming, he was as weak as a baby. I'll send you on your way. Lu Ming's hand moved. The bone spear in his hand flew out and pierced through the demon's head. The demon directly died. Demon spirit blood, take it? Lu Ming grasped. The demon's demon spirit blood flew into Lu Ming's hand. This drop of demon spirit blood was sparkling and translucent, emitting a dazzling radiance. Not bad. Lu Ming revealed a look of anticipation. This was the demon spirit blood of a demon genius. Its potential was limitless. The amount of merit points it could be exchanged for was absolutely astonishing. He clearly remembered that the demon spirit blood of Demon Prince Samoras had been exchanged for around 60,000 merit points. That demon was able to fight someone 3 levels above him in the Divine Emperor realm. Even if he couldn't compare to Samoras, the difference wouldn't be too great. Lu Ming estimated that 20 to 30,000 merit points wouldn't be a problem. The demon spirit blood of a demon genius was worth several tens of thousands of merit points. This was a great harvest. The battle with the evil demons this time was both a crisis and an opportunity. It had to be known that nearly all the demon geniuses participating in this battle were demon geniuses. If he could hunt down enough demon spirit blood, how many merit points would it be worth? After collecting the demon spirit blood in a jade bottle, Lu Ming's figure flashed and he left. After flying for some distance, Lu Ming heard a miserable scream. Up ahead, a genius from the heavenly palace had been killed by 2 demons. One of the demons was still holding the bloody heart of that genius from the heavenly palace. It was chewing on it with relish. As soon as Lu Ming approached, the 2 demons discovered Lu Ming. As soon as they saw Lu Ming, their expressions changed and they quickly retreated. Chapter 4074. When the 2 fiends saw Lu Ming, they retreated. They were both at the 2nd godly emperor layer. Even though they were geniuses, they were still 2 godly emperor layers away from Lu Ming. They didn't feel confident at all. You want to leave? Lu Ming had no intention of letting the other party off. Putting aside the fact that both parties would fight to the death, even if that was not the case, the other party's demon spirit blood was worth a lot of merit points. Lu Ming used the Greater Divine Wind technique and moved like the wind. With a swoosh, he chased after the 2 fiends. In the blink of an eye, the distance between them was shortened. Slash! The 2 fiends attacked with their full strength, each slashing out with a demonic blade. However, Lu Ming easily blocked them. Then 2 fists shot out, piercing through the air and hitting the 2 fiends. The 2 fiends' bodies shattered inch by inch. They had been hit by the Greater Divine Wind technique. In a flash, the 2 fiends' corpses disappeared. 2 drops of fiend spirit blood flew out and Lu Ming put them away. Not bad. Lu Ming nodded in satisfaction. These were all abyssal geniuses with great potential. The amount of merit points they could exchange for would definitely not be small. The more the better. Swoosh. Lu Ming's figure flickered and he left, looking for fiends to kill. However, Lu Ming didn't encounter a single fiend for the next hour or so. This was normal. This temporary planet was very large, and both sides only had about 7,000 people. They were scattered all over the planet, and it wasn't easy to meet someone. But Zhao Hai didn't know that Zhao Hai and Zhao Hai were on the same planet. Furthermore, their speed was greatly suppressed here. Their flying speed was very slow, and it was much more difficult to meet other people. Lu Ming was very calm. He continued flying. Every once in a while, he would choose a conspicuous location and make a mark. That way, Ling Yue would know which direction he was going. After a while, Lu Ming's eyes flashed. In front of him, a young man was standing on a protruding rock. This young man looked like a human. He wore a long black robe and stood against the wind. He was very handsome. When he saw Lu Ming, he stepped into the air and headed straight for Lu Ming. Devil, Lu Ming muttered. A round pearl appeared in his hand. It was the demon-fixing pearl. At this moment, the demon-fixing orb was flickering with light. The demon-fixing orb's reaction meant that the other party was a demon. However, Lu Ming didn't sense any demonic aura from this person. That made Lu Ming think of the 8-snake demon kingdom's Prince Samoros. This was a person who had awakened the bloodline of the demon progenitor. The black-robed youth stopped when he saw the demon-fixing pearl in Lu Ming's hand. He sneered, "Is this your so-called demon-fixing pearl? So what if you have discovered me? You are still going to die, whoosh." As soon as the black-robed young man's voice fell, his body was filled with a strong devil chi. His figure was like a bolt of lightning as he rushed towards Lu Ming. "Evil demon fire!" shouted the black-robed young man. Flames emerged from his body and turned into an ugly monster. It looked like a snake, but it wasn't a snake. It looked like a tiger, but it wasn't a tiger. It moved towards Lu Ming to kill him. Before it even reached him, Lu Ming could already sense a scorching qi and a disgusting odor. Not only was the fire hot, but it was also extremely poisonous. Boom! Lu Ming struck with his palm and cast the Great Divine Wind technique. A gust of wind swept out and blocked the monster that was condensed from flames. "Let's see how many you can block." 10,000 demon slaughter, shouted the black-robed young man furiously. His demon chi boiled and a dozen monsters condensed. They all rushed towards Lu Ming from different directions. Actually, this demon wasn't bad. He had the strength of the fourth godly emperor layer and had awakened the bloodline of the demon progenitor. He wasn't any weaker than Samoros. Ordinary cultivators of the seventh godly emperor layer would be killed by him. But his opponent was Lu Ming. Lu Ming also had the strength of the fourth godly emperor layer. At the same level, there was a huge difference between Lu Ming and the black-robed young man. "Is that all you've got? With your potential, you should be worth 60,000 merit points. I'll take you." Lu Ming's cold voice sounded. Following which, Lu Ming's palm shook and a terrifying force erupted in all directions. Those monsters that were condensed from flames instantly exploded and dissipated. A terrifying strength bombarded the black-robed young man. He gave a horrible shriek and his bones broke. He was propelled backwards. "Your fighting strength, your fighting strength," shouted the black-robed young man. The demonic youth roared in disbelief. He was at the same level as Lu Ming, but Lu Ming had crushed him. He knew he had encountered a peerless genius from the heavenly palace. He wanted to run away, but it was too late. Lu Ming's figure flashed past and the young man's body was torn into pieces. He died on the spot. When Lu Ming's figure reappeared, there was already a drop of demon spirit blood in his hand. That drop of demon blood isn't any weaker than the prince of the snake demon kingdom. It should be worth 60,000 merit points, thought Lu Ming, smiling. After encountering so many waves of demon geniuses, Lu Ming felt a lot more relaxed. He judged that the cultivation of the two sides in this battle, whether it was the demons or the heavenly palace, would not be too high or too exaggerated. After all, the people who were participating this time were all under 50,000 years old. 50,000 years was like the blink of an eye for a godly emperor. Not to mention godly emperors. Some people could meditate in seclusion for more than 50,000 years. Very few people could break through to the godly emperor layer within 50,000 years. Not only did it require incredible talent, but it also required a huge amount of resources. In fact, the people from the heavenly palace who were qualified to participate this time were all from the top clans. Most of them were from the top 10 clans. A few of them were from the top 100 clans. There were some clans from the bottom 100 clans, but they were too few. The higher the rank of the primitive era's 10,000 clans, the more talented the clans were. Another reason was that they had more resources. That was why they could reach such a high cultivation level within 50,000 years. But after all, they hadn't lived for 50,000 years. No matter how talented they were, no matter how many resources they had, their cultivation levels wouldn't be too high. Lu Ming thought that there shouldn't be any great supreme gods among the people who were participating this time. Maybe there weren't even any cultivators above the 7th godly emperor layer. Therefore, Lu Ming was a little more confident. After putting away the evil demon spirit blood, Lu Ming left the place and continued to hunt for evil demons. In the blink of an eye, 3 days passed. During this time, Lu Ming also met other people from the heavenly palace. Some people from the heavenly palace invited Lu Ming to join forces with them, but Lu Ming refused. It was because their cultivation levels were too low. Lu Ming didn't like them. If they wanted to join forces, they should at least be on the same level. At the very least, the difference between them shouldn't be too big. They should be helpful to Lu Ming. If they couldn't help Lu Ming, they might even be a burden to Lu Ming. Why would Lu Ming want to join forces with them? Chapter 4075. During this period, Lu Ming encountered a total of 18 demon prodigies. All of them were killed by Lu Ming. None of them were Lu Ming's match. They were all killed by Lu Ming, and he obtained 18 drops of demon spirit blood. On that day, Lu Ming was flying when he suddenly heard rumbling sounds. There was a great battle ahead. Lu Ming didn't hesitate and immediately flew over. After a short time, Lu Ming finally saw what was happening. There was a canyon in front of him. A great battle was happening at the entrance of the canyon. There were 5 young men in the canyon. They all looked different. They were from different clans in the Heavenly Palace. Outside of the canyon, there was a group of 7 young geniuses. They were surrounding the canyon and attacking unceasingly. The 5 young men from the Heavenly Palace were relying on the canyon to defend themselves. They would be defeated sooner or later. The strongest one has the strength of the 5th godly emperor layer. Lu Ming's eyes twinkled. He could already sense that the strongest one had the strength of the 5th godly emperor layer. Therefore, he didn't hide his chi and directly flew over. Lu Ming's arrival immediately alerted the people from the Heavenly Palace and the demons. They used their spiritual awareness to scan Lu Ming. It's the people from the Heavenly Palace. At the beginning, when the people from the Heavenly Palace saw that Lu Ming was also from the Heavenly Palace, they were overjoyed. However, when they saw that Lu Ming was alone and only had the strength of the 4th godly emperor layer, they were disappointed. Lu Ming alone was of no use at all. It was difficult for him to turn the tables. How could he save them? On the other hand, the demons looked relaxed. Ha! Another guy from the Heavenly Palace is here. Perfect! He's going to be our food. This time, we're going to eat to our heart's content. The 7 young geniuses burst into laughter. However, they couldn't laugh anymore because when he saw them, he didn't run away. On the contrary, he continued running towards them. He wasn't stupid, he was strong. Those who could reach the divine emperor realm before 50,000 years old were definitely not stupid. That person has the strength of the 4th godly emperor layer, he's not weak. You block the people in the gorge and leave the little boy to me, said the young genius of the 5th godly emperor layer. With that, the demonic wings on his back flapped, and he turned into a gust of wind as he charged towards Lu Ming. Swoosh swoosh, the fiend's claws continued to claw at Lu Ming. Its power was astonishing. Each claw was sharper than a divine weapon. Can you fight across 3 levels? Finally, I've met someone decent. Lu Ming was overjoyed instead of shocked. There were very few people who could fight across 3 levels. Among the 18 evil demons he had killed, only 3 had such a talent. Now it was the 4th. Boom! Lu Ming punched out, colliding with the fiend's palm. A heaven-shaking explosion erupted, and the fiend was sent flying, several of his claws broken. What a powerful physical body! These fiends' cultivation methods are strange. A thought flashed across Lu Ming's mind. Fiends' cultivation methods were completely different from those in the primitive universe. Most of the abyss devils had extremely powerful physical bodies. They could use special methods to strengthen their physical bodies. Their physical bodies were constantly changing and evolving. The more bizarre a fiend was, the more terrifying it was. Most of the young geniuses among fiends were like that. There was another kind of fiend who had awakened their ancestral bloodline. Usually, fiends who had awakened their ancestral bloodline would become terrifyingly strong. Most of the young geniuses Lu Ming had encountered had done that. Of course, those who had awakened their ancestral bloodline were extremely rare. Among the 18 demons Lu Ming had killed, only 1 had awakened their ancestral bloodline. So strong! That young genius was astonished. In one move, he was actually sent flying by Lu Ming. He was a monster who could fight across 3 levels. Could Lu Ming be able to fight across 4 levels? Kill. As long as I kill this kid and eat him, my talent will be even stronger. The fiend roared as his body continued to swell. Bones began to extend from the tips of his fingers. These bones were like bone blades, incomparably sharp. Each finger was like a bone knife. Fush, fush, swish, the fiend attacked Lu Ming in a frenzy. His fingers kept clawing out, trying to tear Lu Ming apart. Battle formula. Lu Ming's heart stirred, and the battle formula was successfully activated. Lu Ming did not activate the battle formula when he attacked just now. Otherwise, he could have killed his opponent in an instant. But now, Lu Ming had activated the battle formula to increase his fighting strength by 6 times. Lu Ming had also practiced the battle formula in the fortune tower. With the help of the primordial godly sound, Lu Ming's fighting strength had increased by 6 times. Now, he had a 100% chance of successfully activating the battle formula. After activating the battle formula, Lu Ming's fighting strength increased dramatically. Boom! He threw a punch and the air shook. Lu Ming's fist collided with the other party's sharp claws. Kacha, kacha. The other party's sharp claws exploded in an instant. The terrifying fist force continued to bombard the body of the evil demon. The evil demon's body was directly torn into pieces. Lu Ming rushed over and grabbed the evil demon's spirit blood in his hands. In the distance, the geniuses on both sides of the canyon were astonished. The fiend with the strength of the 5th godly emperor layer was the strongest of the 7. They had not thought that Lu Ming would be able to defeat him so easily. At that moment, the geniuses on both sides had a 180-degree change in mood. The Heavenly Palace's geniuses were overjoyed, while the fiends were shocked. Retreat! Let's go! The remaining 6 fiends were very straightforward. They immediately retreated, wanting to escape. The strongest among them had been defeated by Lu Ming in a few moves. If they went up against him, they would only die. They did not dare to stay. Don't let them escape. Die! In the canyon, the 5 Heavenly Palace's geniuses roared and charged out. Their morale was at its peak. However, Lu Ming was the fastest. After using the Great Godly Wind technique, his speed was astonishing. In the blink of an eye, Lu Ming had already caught up with the 6 fiends. The 6 fiends were shocked. Seeing that they could not escape, they could only turn around and attack Lu Ming with all their strength. Great Demon Sword Technique. Lu Ming's mind shook. A pitch-black demon sword appeared between his fingers. A total of 6 swords. The 6 devil swords flashed, and the 6 devil geniuses stiffened. Then, a bloody mark appeared on their foreheads. The bloody mark grew larger and more obvious until finally, with a popping sound, they were split in half. They no longer had the slightest bit of aura. Lu Ming grabbed the air with his palm and the 6 drops of demonic spirit blood landed in his hands. That way, Lu Ming had obtained 25 drops of fiend's spirit blood. Lu Ming estimated that 25 drops of fiend's spirit blood could be exchanged for at least 200,000 merit points. Chapter 4076. Not every abyssal prodigy was worth so many merit points. There were also differences in strength and potential among the demon prodigies. Some demon prodigies were only better than others of the same level. Some could fight across 1 level, while some could fight across 2 levels. Among the demon prodigies that Lu Ming had killed, some were only better than others of the same level. Some could only fight across 1 level. The merit points that could be exchanged for these demon prodigies were very limited. That's it. What strength? The 5 Heavenly Palace prodigies also stopped and looked surprised. Especially when they saw that Lu Ming had obtained 7 drops of demon spirit blood. They were envious and jealous. Some of them even wanted to snatch the blood. However, when they thought of Lu Ming's strength, they felt a chill in their hearts. Who would dare to have any ideas about Lu Ming? Brother, how about we work together? Yeah, we'll have a higher chance of killing the demon together. 2 Heavenly Palace prodigies said. Lu Ming was very strong. If they could work together with Lu Ming, they would have a higher chance of survival in this dangerous battle. At the critical moment, they could even push Lu Ming out as a shield. Lu Ming smiled faintly. How could he not know what these people were thinking? Not interested. Lu Ming said faintly and turned to leave. You have some strength. Not bad, not bad. I like it. At this moment, a cold voice sounded. As soon as the voice fell, a figure suddenly appeared in the sky. It was the figure of a demon. This demon was covered in green scales. His body was very strong, but very well proportioned. He didn't look clumsy. The most eye-catching thing was the horn on his head. It was like a green scimitar that pierced through the sky. This was the first time they had seen a demon with a horn on his head. His eyes were filled with a fiery radiance as he stared at Lu Ming. Lu Ming also looked at this demon and narrowed his eyes slightly. Instinctively, Lu Ming felt that this demon was very powerful. It made him feel as though he was facing a strong enemy. The 5 geniuses from the heavenly palace narrowed their eyes and retreated slowly. They wanted to leave this place and this demon. Since I've already met you, how dare you try to leave? I'll take care of you little fishes first. Before he finished speaking, the horned demon's figure had already disappeared. Lu Ming only saw a flash of a green blade. In the next moment, a series of screams could be heard from the 5 heavenly palace geniuses. After a breath of time, there was a flash of light, and the figure of the single-horned demon reappeared. However, the heads of the 5 heavenly palace prodigies were all pierced, and there was a clear hole in their heads. The taste is not bad. Unfortunately, it's not hot enough. The unicorn demon smacked his lips, and from his fangs, one could see a mass of white paste. It was clearly brain matter. The brains of the 5 heavenly palace geniuses had been hollowed out by the unicorn demon. Smacking his lips, the unicorn demon looked at Lu Ming with anticipation. Your strength is not bad. It must be even more delicious. Your demon spirit blood is not bad either. I'll take it, Lu Ming said indifferently. His body was covered in light, and forbidden energy covered his entire body. You want to kill me? You have guts. Unfortunately, your cultivation is still too low. Kill. As the word kill fell, the unicorn demon's figure disappeared again. This time, Lu Ming clearly saw how the other party attacked. With the horn as the core, the other party's entire body seemed to have turned into a divine blade, piercing towards Lu Ming at an astonishing speed. The horn on the unicorn demon's head was like a sharp blade that could split the heavens and earth. The terrifying power made Lu Ming not dare to be careless. Great demon sword technique, / Lu Ming clenched his fist and a demon sword appeared. Lu Ming held the sword with both hands and slashed out. That sword accurately cut the unicorn demon's horn. The sound of metal clashing rang out. An invisible force erupted from the place where the two of them collided. It swept out in all directions. Everywhere it passed, the huge rocks were continuously blasted apart and turned into ashes. Swoosh, swoosh. 2 silhouettes moved back rapidly. It was Lu Ming and the unicorn demon. They both moved back 100 li at the same time and stood in the air, facing each other. How strong! This guy is only a godly emperor layer cultivator, and he can fight opponents 4 levels higher than him. Lu Ming frowned slightly, but there was a flash of excitement in his eyes. The unicorn demon had the strength of the 5th godly emperor layer, but he was terrifyingly strong. He could fight opponents 4 levels higher than him. He could fight against cultivators of the 9th godly emperor layer. He was as strong as a cultivator on the universe's young geniuses list. It was the first time Lu Ming had encountered such a strong unicorn demon. In fact, it was the first time Lu Ming had encountered such a strong unicorn demon since he had started hunting demons. Such a strong unicorn demon had unlimited potential. The amount of spirit blood he could exchange for was astonishing. Lu Ming was astonished, but the unicorn demon was even more astonished. Lu Ming was surprisingly able to fight against him. Lu Ming's cultivation level was 1 level lower than his. Didn't that mean that Lu Ming could fight opponents who were 5 levels higher than him? Such a monster was rare even in the evil demon race. Now, he had actually encountered one. Very good, very good. I'll kill him and eat him. It'll definitely help me evolve. The unicorn demon looked even more ferocious. Demon chi kept exploding out of his body. His horn was flickering with a strange light, and then it grew longer and longer. It was several times longer than before. Swish! The single-horned demon once again used its horn as the tip. Like a poisonous dragon, it charged toward Lu Ming at a faster speed than before. Lu Ming wasn't afraid at all. He brandished his demon sword. Clang! The two of them collided again. Their bodies shook, and they retreated. However, after retreating, they charged at each other again. Clang, clang, clang. The two of them were extremely fast. They kept colliding. In the blink of an eye, they had exchanged more than a dozen moves. To be honest, the single-horned young man's combat strength was really strong. That horn was extremely terrifying. Even divine weapons would be cut apart by it. If he used his full strength, ordinary cultivators of the 9th godly emperor layer would be killed in a prolonged battle. There weren't many people in the primitive universe who were younger than 50,000 years old. But that was it. He was unlucky to have encountered Lu Ming. It seems like that's your limit. Unfortunately, it's not my limit. Lu Ming muttered. With a loud bang, a stronger force erupted from his body. Dazzling lights emerged from Lu Ming's body. That was the result of all his secret techniques. All the secret skills were activated and combined with the taboo power and the primordial secret skill. Lu Ming's combat ability was raised to the peak. Chapter 4077. When Lu Ming raised his battle strength to the peak, he could kill enemies 5.5 realms above him. Bang! Lu Ming seemed to have turned into a beam of light, rushing forward and colliding with the one-horned fiend youth. A loud explosion resounded, followed by a figure frantically retreating. This retreating figure was naturally the one-horned fiend youth. He retreated several hundred li, his tall and sturdy body trembling incessantly. He spurted out a mouthful of blood, disbelief in his eyes. Kacha! Following that, his horn emitted a sound similar to that of porcelain shattering. A few cracks appeared on it. How is this possible? The one-horned fiend youth was extremely shocked. The cultivation of fiends was different from that of the primitive universe. They didn't have any origin divine power or origin secret arts. His horn was something that came with a heavenly god and had been continuously refined. It possessed boundless power and was incomparably tough. However, at this moment, Lu Ming's attack had caused cracks to appear on it. Moreover, Lu Ming's cultivation was one realm lower than his, something he had never encountered before. Kill! A cold voice resounded. Lu Ming didn't want to give him a chance to catch his breath. He crossed several hundred li in an instant, arriving in front of the one-horned fiend youth and launching an all-out attack. The one-horned fiend youth resisted with all his strength, but in the divine emperor realm, a difference of half a realm in battle strength would result in a crushing situation. Every time the two collided, the one-horned fiend youth's body would be pushed back, spurting out blood from his mouth. The injuries on his body would also worsen. In an instant, the two had exchanged 10 moves. Suddenly, the one-horned fiend youth let out a blood-curdling scream. The horn on his head was covered with several dozen cracks, and finally, it exploded with a bang, turning into fragments. With his most important horn shattered, the one-horned fiend youth was like a deflated balloon, deflating in an instant. His aura rapidly weakened, and his battle strength was also greatly reduced. Be on your way. Lu Ming's indifferent voice resounded. His palm was like a blade chopping down. Blood splattered everywhere, and the one-horned fiend youth's head flew high into the air, directly falling to the ground. Lu Ming's palm reached out, grabbing the fiend's spirit blood of this fiend. Buzz. The evil demon's spirit blood was trembling non-stop, emitting rich energy fluctuations. Of all the Abyss Devil spirit blood Lu Ming had obtained, this drop of Abyss Devil spirit blood was the most special and eye-catching. Its quality was even higher than that of a God Emperor's demon spirit blood. Lu Ming's heart was burning. This drop of abyssal spirit blood could be exchanged for an absolutely astonishing amount of merit points. This demon's potential was too shocking. He was able to fight someone who was 4 levels above him in the godly emperor realm. In the primitive universe, this demon was comparable to a candidate on the universe genius list. Given enough time, this kind of monster would definitely become an overlord of the universe, a powerhouse whose name would shake the world. Of course, such great potential was valuable. Lu Ming hoped to fight such a demon. Of course, it would be best if the other party's cultivation base was not too high. Lu Ming, who had the strength of the 5th godly emperor layer, could handle such a genius. If a cultivator of the 6th godly emperor layer came, Lu Ming would have no choice but to run for his life. Lu Ming put the evil demon spirit blood away and walked over to the 5 geniuses from the heavenly palace. He waved his hand and took their interspatial rings. Then he began to inspect them. After a short while, Lu Ming looked disappointed. There were a few drops of evil demon spirit blood in their interspatial rings, but the quality was very poor. Obviously, the demons they had killed were not very strong. However, it was better than nothing. Lu Ming didn't hesitate to put them all away. After that, Lu Ming left. A few days passed in the blink of an eye. During these days, Lu Ming noticed a strange phenomenon. He rarely encountered demons or people from the heavenly palace. That's strange. Could it be that neither side is in this area? Or are they hiding? Lu Ming murmured in his heart. Unable to figure it out, Lu Ming was too lazy to pay attention to it. He continued to fly in the direction that Ling Yue might be. The smell of blood. Suddenly, Lu Ming smelled a strong smell of blood coming from a direction. Lu Ming's eyes moved. He withdrew his aura and landed on the ground. Then he walked along the ground in that direction. Not long after, Lu Ming found a corpse. It was a white jade divine elephant. Obviously, it was a genius from the primitive universe. The white jade divine elephant had died very miserably. There were 5 holes in its head. Lu Ming knew at a glance that it had been pierced by the sharp claws of the evil demon. However, the smell of blood that Lu Ming smelled was definitely not from this white jade divine elephant. It was too strong. Lu Ming continued forward and found a few more corpses. These corpses were not only from the primitive universe, but also from the evil demon. Lu Ming checked and found that the evil demon's spirit blood in the evil demon's corpse had been taken away. Lu Ming continued to move forward and found more and more corpses. After a while, Lu Ming found no less than 50 corpses. They were both from the heavenly palace and the evil demons. The ground was also full of potholes. It was obvious that a fierce battle had taken place here. Other than these corpses, there was no one alive. Lu Ming was very surprised. He didn't expect that so many evil demons and the geniuses of the heavenly palace would gather here and have a fierce battle. There's a trail of blood extending to the west. Lu Ming revealed a thoughtful expression. After pondering for a moment, he headed west. After traveling for about a few thousand miles, Lu Ming's eyes suddenly flashed. He looked in a certain direction. His body was wrapped in divine wind. This was the sign of using the great divine wind technique. He was ready to fight at any time. In that direction, multicolored light flickered, and then a dozen figures appeared. People from the heavenly palace. Upon seeing these people, Lu Ming relaxed a little. Because these people were all from the heavenly palace. The people from the heavenly palace also saw Lu Ming. Among them, a muscular young man clad in battle armor spoke. He recognized Lu Ming. So it's a brother from the Battle Saint tribe. Lu Ming nodded to this young man. After that, he glanced at the others. He was somewhat curious because these people came from different races. Not all of them were from the Battle Saint tribe. Other than the Battle Saint tribe, there were also the Buddha race, Blood race, Soul race, Devil race, etc. Mu Yun, you can't continue forward. If you continue forward, you will enter the territory of the evil demons. That young man from the Battle Saint tribe said. The territory of the evil demons is in front? Is there a division of territory here? Lu Ming was even more astonished. That's right. In the region ahead, a large number of evil demons are gathered. As for the geniuses of our heavenly palace, they are gathered in the eastern region. The supreme genius of the Buddha race, Luo Tian, is the leader. It's very dangerous for you to move alone. Why don't you join us? Only by gathering together can we fight against the evil demons. Because in the region ahead, there's also a Devil King level character. The young man from the Battle Saint tribe spoke. A Devil King level character? Lu Ming was even more astonished. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.